Let's talk about your morning. You wake up, you look in the mirror, and honestly, it's rough out there. Bedhead, pillow lines on your face like you lost a fight with your own pillowcase, maybe a little drool residue you're not going to acknowledge. But give it 15 minutes. 15 minutes and roughly 15 different products, and somehow you walk out of that bathroom looking like a completely different, much more competent person. Concealer under the eyes to hide the fact that you stayed up too late watching videos exactly like this one, a little foundation to even things out, blush so you look like you have blood in your body, mascara so your eyes look like they're actually paying attention to the world, lipstick so your mouth looks like it belongs on a magazine cover instead of a Tuesday morning commute. And the wild part? You do this every single day without thinking about it. It's not a special occasion, it's not a big event, it's just Tuesday, and you're already performing a small miracle before 8 a.m. Now, if you've ever once stood in front of that mirror and thought, wait, how did anyone manage to look good before all of this stuff existed? Congratulations, you're exactly the kind of curious weirdo this channel was built for. Hit subscribe because today we are going back. Not back to last season's makeup trends. Back, like before mirrors were a thing back, before humans had invented the concept of a morning routine back. So let's strip it all away. No mirror, no foundation, no blush, no mascara, no lipstick, no little makeup sponge that you still, to this day, are not entirely sure how to clean properly. You are a woman tens of thousands of years ago standing at the edge of a river right as the sun comes up. It's cold, there's mud between your toes, somewhere behind you a mammoth is probably doing something concerning, and despite all of that, despite the mud, despite the mammoth, despite the complete absence of a Sephora within a 300,000-year radius, you still, somehow, want to look good today. Good luck with that. Truly, good luck. Problem number one, and it's a big one, she can't even see her own face. No mirror, no phone camera flipped to selfie mode, no car window to check your teeth in at a red light. So what does she do? She kneels down at the edge of the water and she waits. She waits for the ripples to calm down, for the current to settle, for a bird to stop splashing around 15 feet away and ruining everything. And eventually, she gets a look at herself. A blurry, wobbly, slightly unflattering reflection staring back up at her from the water. Imagine getting ready for the most important day of your life using nothing but a puddle and pure hope. That right there is the entire beauty industry in the year 300,000 BC. One damp puddle, 0 customer reviews, and a small prayer that the wind doesn't pick up halfway through. All right, reflection sorted, sort of. Next problem, color. Because even back then, certain things were considered attractive. Pale, glowing skin, flushed, rosy cheeks, eyes that actually pop instead of disappearing quietly into your face like they're trying not to get noticed. Sound familiar? It should. Humans have wanted exactly this look for tens of thousands of years. We didn't invent the desire to look a little more alive than we actually feel at 7 in the morning. We just used to get it from crushed up rocks instead of a $28 blush palette with a name like Sun-Kissed Glow Number 3. Ancient women have their own version of the makeup aisle. It just happened to be a pile of dirt, and the return policy was non-existent. So she reaches for red ochre, a soft, iron-rich stone usually found near riverbeds or tucked inside caves. She grinds it down between 2 rocks, patiently, into a fine reddish powder, because again, no food processor, no pre-ground anything, just elbow grease and a whole lot of time she apparently had lying around. Mix that powder with a little water or animal fat, and boom, paste. Rub it onto the cheeks, dab it onto the lips, and suddenly she's got the exact same flushed, healthy glow that blush is trying to fake on your face right now. The logic hasn't changed in 100,000 years. Flushed cheeks read as young, healthy, full of life. She just had to mine hers out of a riverbed first. Around the eyes, different material entirely. Charcoal or soot straight out of the fire pit, sometimes mixed with a bit of fat so it actually sticks instead of just smearing everywhere the second it's humid out. Smudge that along the lash line and you get 2 things at once. 1, the eyes instantly look bigger and more defined, the exact same effect every smoky eye tutorial online is chasing right now. And 2, it actually cuts glare from the sun, which is the same reason football players still smear black paint under their eyes today. So really, ancient women weren't just doing makeup, they were doing sunglasses, with extra steps and significantly worse smell. Okay, skin handled, eyes handled. But here's a problem nobody's mentioned yet. Soap?
doesn't exist. Not a bar of it, not a bottle of it, nothing. Which means every single scent decision she makes has one real job: cover up the smell of a full day spent hunting, gathering, sweating, and probably standing too close to a fire pit. So she crushes wildflowers between her palms, she warms up tree resin until it goes soft and fragrant, kind of like nature's own candle shop. She takes animal fat and lets it slowly soak up crushed herbs over several days, turning it into a scented balm. Rub that onto the skin, onto the hair, and suddenly she smells like flowers and pine instead of, well, whatever the alternative was. This is the exact same instinct behind every perfume ad you've ever seen. Just replace the glass bottle and the moody black and white commercial with a rock, some flowers, and a whole lot of patience. Now let's talk about hair, because hair mattered a lot. Thick, healthy, shiny hair wasn't just a look, it was basically a health certificate. It said, I eat well, I'm not sick, my body has enough resources left over to grow good hair instead of spending everything just trying to survive. No brushes exist yet, so fingers do the work, sometimes helped along by a simple comb carved from bone or wood. No hair dye either, so if hair needed cleaning or styling, clay or ash sometimes got worked through it, doubling as both a cleanser and a way to hold a shape in place. And braiding wasn't just for looking nice. Tightly bound hair stayed out of the way during the hunt, during a long walk, while carrying a child on one hip. Every hairstyle back then had to earn its place. It couldn't just look good, it had to survive an actual workday. And then there's everything beyond the face, because looking good was never just about the face, even back then. Shells strung together on fiber cord worn around the neck or wrist. Some of the oldest jewelry ever discovered is over 100,000 years old, which means humans were accessorizing before we'd even invented most other things, including, arguably, common sense. Teeth, bones, feathers, all of it carried meaning. Sometimes it signaled beauty, sometimes it signaled skill, like, I personally hunted the animal this tooth came from, thank you for noticing. Sometimes it signaled status within the group. A necklace wasn't just decoration, it was basically an ancient resume worn around the neck that said, notice me, I am someone worth talking to. But here's the part that actually changes everything. Attractiveness back then wasn't really about symmetry or smooth skin or any one specific feature you could fake with a good angle and decent lighting. Health mattered more than anything else. Strong hair, clear eyes, steady, confident movement, visible energy, the kind you only have if you're actually eating enough and not currently fighting off some illness nobody had a name for yet. These were signs a person could survive, could keep up on a 5-hour walk without slowing everyone down, could carry a child safely through a pregnancy and come out the other side still standing. What we now spend real money trying to fake, clear skin, glowing energy, that I've got my life together look, back then was either real or it simply wasn't. There was no filter, no concealer strong enough to fake being well fed for 6 straight months. What you saw standing in front of you around that fire was, whether you liked it or not, the actual unedited truth. So, skin done. Eyes done. Smell, hair, jewelry, all somehow figured out with nothing but rocks, fire, and an alarming amount of patience. But there's one more piece of the puzzle we haven't touched yet, and it might be the most chaotic one of all. How did she actually know if any of this was working? There was no dating app, no group chat to send a mirror selfie to and ask, does this look okay? Just other people, watching, judging, in real time with no delete button. Here's the thing about getting ready thousands of years ago. There was no privacy in it. No bathroom door to lock, no quiet moment alone with a mirror before anyone else saw the result. You did your hair, your ochre, your little dab of crushed flowers, and then you walked straight out into a small group of maybe 20 to 50 people who all knew you personally, saw you every single day, and would absolutely notice if something was different. There was no stranger on the internet to impress and then never think about again. It was the same faces, every day for your entire life, judging the same reflection you just spent 20 minutes perfecting in a puddle. Talk about pressure. And here's a twist. Not every group wanted the same thing. Different tribes, different regions, different climates, all valued slightly different things. In some places, fuller body shapes were prized since they signaled you had enough food to survive a hard winter. In others, specific scarring or body paint patterns marked you as someone who'd passed into adulthood or proven yourself in some way. There wasn't one single ancient beauty standard handed down from the heavens. It was scattered, local, and constantly shaped by whatever that specific environment demanded to survive in it. Beauty, it turns out, has always just been survival wearing a nicer outfit. Now, not everything ancient humans tried was exactly safe. Some pigments used later in history contained things like lead or arsenic, and people had no idea because there was no science yet to explain why skin might start reacting badly after repeated use. Some tribes experimented with plant extracts that could irritate or even poison skin if used the wrong way. There was no ingredients label, no dermatologist to check with first, just trial, error, and unfortunately, sometimes a fairly rough lesson learned the hard way. Beauty has always come with some risk attached. It just used to be a lot less regulated and a lot more likely to actually hurt you. So here's where all of this lands. Makeup didn't invent the desire to look good. That instinct is old. Really old. Older than agriculture, older than writing, older than most things humans considered civilization. What makeup actually did was give us a shortcut, a fast, reliable way to fake signals that for most of human history could only be real. Rosy cheeks used to mean you were actually healthy. Now they can mean you spent 90 seconds with a blush brush. Glowing skin used to mean you were actually well-fed and well-rested. Now it can mean you found a good highlighter. We didn't get smarter about beauty, we just got better at faking the parts that used to require actually being okay. So next time you dab on a little concealer before walking out the door, remember, you're not doing anything new, you're just running a 100,000-year-old program on much faster hardware with significantly better smell. If this made you look at your own bathroom mirror a little differently, subscribe, because next time we're heading into the night, when there were no walls, no doors, and no lights. Just you, the dark, and whatever's making that noise outside.